Part 56. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 551. I don't need this ring. I am already an 8-winged angel and can defeat dark creatures, Xiao Fei said proudly, but his eyes were full of fire as he stared at the divine ring in Yang Tian's hand. This is typical of saying no, but the body is very honest. Don't think about it. You need to reach level 200 first. Yang Tian smiled faintly and put away the divine power ring. The Lich King's scepter, the Thorn Dragon armor, the ring of divine power. Now, Yang Tian already holds 3 level 200 artifacts in his hands. After cleaning up all the loot, Yang Tian led his team out of the west gate and headed for the final north gate. On the other side, the Japanese war zone, the Fallen Angels Alliance. Qianben Shuiying was hanged once, his level dropped from level 190 back to level 189, and his ranking on the battle list dropped 1 place to 5th in the world. Yang Tian ranks first in the battle rankings. Defeating him is considered bullying the weak with strength. Naturally, Yang Tian cannot replace his ranking, so his ranking will not drop. However, Xiao Fei also killed him once in the dungeon. Xiao Fei replaced his ranking on the battle list and came to 4th in the world, while his ranking moved down to 5th in the world. Brother, even you failed, Qianben Shuiying was shocked. She was just a seraph with only 1 or 200 million HP. Even though her attributes restrained Yang Tian, it was not incomprehensible that she would be defeated. But she didn't expect that even Qianben Blood Eagle failed. Qianben Blood Eagle was an 8-winged angel. Don't mention it, that kid's shield is too weird. I hit him with 3 trillion damage, but he didn't lose even 1% of the shield bars. How can I hit him? Qianben Blood Eagle looked aggrieved. Does it mean that we have to ask the leader of the alliance to take action in person to punish that kid? Qianben Shuiying asked. The leader of the alliance in her mouth is none other than the demonic Nanamai, who ranks 2nd on both the world battle list and the world battle power list. She is a very scary woman. Don't, the leader is attacking the realm of 10-winged angels in the angel realm. To deal with trivial matters like muddy waters, it's better that we don't bother her. Qianben Blood Eagle shrank his neck, as if he would feel palpitations when he mentioned the leader. Feel? Actually, muddy waters is just the Holy King, and I, the 8-winged angel, are very restrained against him. I hit him with almost real damage, but he hit me with very low damage. Without that weird shield, he would definitely not be my opponent. In other words, as long as I study the characteristics of his shield, I can defeat him. Qianben Blood Eagle continued. That shield in muddy waters is actually a blood-sucking shield from the side. God's left hand suddenly spoke. Huh, Qianben brother and sister were both startled. Look at the 2nd place in the world equipment list, add 100 blood-sucking staff, that is muddy waters weapon. God's left hand said. It's just an imperial weapon. It's only ranked so high because it's enhanced by add 100, right? Qianben Blood Eagle wondered. It's an imperial weapon, but the blood-sucking special effects are very terrifying, God's left hand affirmed. How do you know? Qianben Shuiying was startled. Because I have been paying attention to him. I also watched the video of him killing gods in the Chinese war zone. With my eyesight, I can naturally see something. His blood-sucking special effect is actually that when he deals damage, he absorbs blood according to a certain percentage, which is converted into a blood-sucking shield. In other words, the higher the damage he inflicts, the stronger the blood-sucking shield formed. He can't do any damage when he hits you, and the blood-sucking shield formed is limited in strength, but don't forget, he killed hundreds of us instantly with corpse explosion. You don't know the power of corpse explosion, you can imagine knowing how high the total damage he inflicted by killing hundreds of us was, and the strength of the blood-sucking shield he formed at that time. It was naturally very terrifying. God's left hand continued without any secret. After all, he chose to join the Japanese war zone just to find opportunities to become stronger and then suppress Yang Tian. Now that someone is helping to deal with Yang Tian, he is naturally very happy to see it, even though he also hates Qianben Blood Eagle. Another point is that no matter how strong his blood-sucking shield is, it will disappear 5 seconds after leaving the battle, God said with his left hand. Huh, Qianben Shuiying was startled. Didn't you notice? In the previous dungeon, when our team was wiped out, Muddy Waters immediately rushed out of the dungeon to chase us. Why was he so anxious? Because if he waited a few seconds, his powerful blood-sucking shield would disappeared, God's left hand affirmed. Asshole. Since you know it so clearly, why didn't you say it before? Now it's useless to say it later, Qianben Blood Eagle said angrily. Humph, I just watched the video before, it was just a guess, and now I have just confirmed it, Godzo said calmly. Also, don't rely on me for everything. What if I told you earlier? Can you guarantee that you will not be hit by the muddy water for 5 consecutive seconds? You can't do that at all. That assassin kid is also an 8-winged angel, and his speed is faster than you. With that assassin kid sticking to you, why don't Muddy Waters just hit you from behind? God left his hand and sneered. Nonsense. But if you send hundreds of people, will Muddy Waters have such a strong blood-sucking shield? Qianben Shuiying said angrily, if it weren't for trash like you, Muddy Waters would be a waste, and I would be able to fight against 2. Haha, 1 versus 2? Just save it. Do you believe it? Now I know that the assassin boy next to Muddy Waters is very scary. Even though his combat power is slightly inferior to yours, his strength is definitely not inferior to yours. He was just trying to protect Han Shui before, so he had no choice but to fight with you. You, a berserker and an assassin, are so confident. Are you embarrassed? Also, Han Shui didn't use his full strength. He has the blood of a dragon, and he didn't use his super buff skill of dragon transformation when he fought us. That's disdain, God's left hand sneered. God's left hand's continuous sneers directly stunned Qianben Blood Eagle. Qianben Blood Eagle is also a super strong man, belonging to the top of the pyramid. After God's left hand's little bit, he simulated countless one-on-2 battles in his mind. Undoubtedly, he failed in the end. He realized that Yang Tian, or Yang Tian's team, was really terrifying. Facing them, he alone was really powerless and had no way to do anything. The game Takezu has the setting of attribute restraint. It's too difficult for one person to be the only one. Now we need to pay attention to teamwork. As strong as Muddy Water, doesn't he have that assassin under his command? And I can tell you that the strong people under his command are definitely not just that assassin. Some things will slowly surface after a few months. Now it is undoubtedly a version dominated by angels and demons, but after a while, those strong people will rise to level 200 and become gods, and the world will be reshuffled. You are 5th in the world battle list? Haha, forgive me for being blunt, in a few months, you will at least fall out of the top 50. God's left hand smiled deeply. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 552. Outside the top 50? You look down on me too much, don't you? Qianben Shuiying raised his eyebrows and said angrily. God's left hand, pay attention to your own identity. Qianben Shuiying obviously snorted coldly with her brother. Haha, do I look down on you, or do you look down on those strong people from all over the world? God's left hand automatically filtered Qianben Shuiying and sneered at Qianben Shuiying. In general, he is still very courageous. After all, he was once one of the cards in the Chinese war zone. A lean camel is bigger than a horse. To be honest, my goal is to suppress the muddy water and regain my lost dignity, and Qianben, you also need help now. I think we can cooperate deeply, God's left hand said. Cooperation? Just you? There are too many masters in our alliance, it won't be your turn anyway, right? Look at your current behavior. Although the General Saint King has god-level blood, it is only the weakest goblin blood. Don't even think about cooperating with me to deal with muddy waters. You are not even my sister Shueying's opponent now, okay, Qianben Blood Eagle sneered. Qianben, we have known each other for several years and have fought for several years. You should be very clear about my strength. I am in this state now, purely because I don't have a good opportunity, God's left hand said unwillingly. Why, Han Shui subdued Xian Yuan Long a strong NPC war servant, in the early stage, and made great progress all the way. In the middle stage, the Skeleton King of the Royal Beast level swept through thousands of troops. In the late stage, his undead overlord has already exerted his strength, plus the various advantages he accumulated in the early stage. It is simply a step to heaven. He is only at the Saint King level now, but his strength is better than that of a god-level strongman. If he becomes a god, what will happen? This guy has too good an opportunity, just like the kingly male protagonist in the novel. All the way smooth sailing, sweeping invincible. But I have nothing. Every time God's left hand thinks of this, he is filled with anger. Luck is also a kind of strength. You can't blame anyone for your bad luck, Qianben Blood Eagle said lightly. I want an angel bloodline. God's left hand was too lazy to talk nonsense and directly stated his request. He joined the Japanese war zone, and there were three major forces in the Japanese war zone: Emperor Alliance, Ninja Department, Fallen Angel. Why did he choose Fallen Angel? Isn't it just to become an angel? Muddy water is a dark system. As long as he becomes an angel, he will be able to deal with him. He knows that as long as he is an angel, even if it is just the weakest two-winged angel, he can go to the angel realm in the upper realm. And there must be many two-winged angels, four-winged angels, etc. in the angel realm. The leader, the demon girl Nanami, and the deputy leader, the Blood Eagle 1000, are both eight-winged angels. If they go to the angel realm, they can easily kill the two-winged angels and four-winged angels, and thus obtain the blood of those angels, right? In fact, although there are only two eight-winged angels in fallen angels, there are quite a few six-winged angels, and as for the four-winged angels and two-winged angels, there are even more. Angel blood is not a junk item for fallen angels, but there are indeed a lot of stocks. I just want a piece of angel blood. Is it that difficult? Our alliance wants to build a full angel lineup. How important is your angel blood to us? Eight-winged angels are difficult to hunt. We currently don't have eight-winged angel blood in stock. Haha, even if we have it, it will definitely not be your turn. Six-winged angel blood, the alliance leader and I both need it, because it represents 20 million points of light energy. We only need 10 billion points of light energy to upgrade from 8-winged angels to 10-winged angels. 4-winged angel blood, we need to cultivate 6-winged angel players in the alliance. If you really want angel blood, I can only give you a 2-winged angel blood at most. Is this really okay? Qianben Blood Eagle laughed strangely. God's left hand is a god-level blood. It is useless for him to swallow low-level blood. It is all a waste. His god-level goblin blood is useless even if he swallows the holy dragon blood. He is still a god-level goblin blood, he can only replace his blood by swallowing god-level blood. However, angel blood is different from demon blood. These two bloods are extremely domineering. Even if he devoured the blood of the double-winged angel, the blood of the god-level goblin in his body would be directly replaced by the blood of the double-winged angel, but at that time, he was a double-winged angel, but at the level of the Spirit King. Everything had to start again from the double-winged angel. Senbon. God's left hand stared at the 1000-winged blood eagle. How could he not know that the other party was playing a trick on him? The 1000-winged blood eagle was an 8-winged angel. If he really wanted to, it would not be difficult to get a 6-winged angel blood. He even had some in stock, but he just didn't want to give it to him. Okay, 2 wings, God's left hand struggled for a while, and finally nodded. In any case, in the same realm, the angel blood is still far stronger than other bloods. More importantly, the angel can restrain Yang Tian. It's just starting over from the double-winged angel and the Spirit King realm. It's no big deal. Well, you are really cruel to yourself. Never mind. Since I have spoken, I will not regret it. I am waiting for you to become an 8-winged angel, and then we will officially cooperate one day. The thousand-blood eagle laughed strangely and handed a piece of 2-winged angel blood to God's left hand. In the 4 symbols guardian copy, the North Gate, Yang Tian led the team in. The first 5 levels were all turtle monsters. Yang Tian summoned the army of the undead to sweep all the way and rushed straight into the final boss room. In that huge valley, a huge black turtle was lying comfortably in a shallow swamp. It had a dragon head, a turtle shell, elephant feet, and a snake tail. It was Suanwuo. The body proportions of ordinary turtles, the body is relatively long, but the shell is relatively short. And Suanwuo is long and tall, and its shell is very high. From another perspective, its shell is very thick, so thick that it is outrageous. Suanwuo stayed there motionless, giving people a feeling of being as heavy as a mountain. Just looking at his face, you can tell that this guy's defense is extremely terrifying. Suanwuo, Divine Beast. Level 200. HP, 25 trillion. Basic combat power, 6 billion. Maximum combat power, 600 billion. Skills, Dragon Breath, Mount Tai, Rock Blow, Shell Shrinking. Bloodline skills, Divine Turtle Guard, Life Recovery. Hee, adventurers, among the 4 divine beasts, although I am not the strongest, I am definitely the most difficult to deal with. I think you can challenge the other 3 first. Suanwuo has a gentle personality. Seeing Yang Tian and others, he did not attack first, but kindly persuaded them. But this is not important. What is important is that it is a woman's voice. Azure Dragon, White Tiger, Vermilion Bird are all male, but Suanwuo, as heavy as a mountain, is female. Although the monsters in Taegzu have random genders, this is too unbelievable, right? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 553. The other 3 you mentioned are all dead, Yang Tian said. Huh, Suanwuo was startled, and a ball of flames appeared above his head, which was obviously a manifestation of his anger. Long Lu, hold on, everyone focus on fire, Yang Tian gave an order. When Long Lu rushed up to taunt and stabilize Suanwuo's hatred, the whole team focused on fire, and all kinds of swords and magic arrows fell on Suanwuo like a rainstorm. For a time, thousands of injuries appeared densely above Suanwuo's head. However, under such concentrated fire, Suanwuo's health bar on his head was almost motionless. Suanwuo's defense was too terrifying. Even as strong as Yang Tian and Xiaofei, they could only deal a little damage. Many people in the team attacked Suanwuo, and they couldn't even break the defense, so they could only cause 1 point of mandatory damage to Suanwuo. Roar. Suanwuo roared, his eyes moved away from Long Lu, and swept to the people who focused on him. Suanwuo is a divine beast, and its intelligence is no different from that of humans. Although it is still affected by hatred and will attack the target of hatred first, it does not mean that it will ignore other enemies. In fact, to put it simply, the resistance of monsters above spiritual beasts to hatred has been greatly enhanced. Players and NPCs ignore hatred. Mount Tai is falling. Suanwuo abandoned Long Lu, and his huge and bulky body suddenly jumped up, covering the sky and the sun for a while, and suddenly fell in the center of the team like a huge mountain. With a loud bang, the ground where Suanwuo fell instantly cracked like a spider web, stirring up a violent shockwave that swept the whole field. Among the four divine beasts, Suanwu's attack power is definitely the lowest, but it is the top first level divine beast after all. Its attack power is not as good as the top, but it is more than the bottom. Amid screams, countless people in the team died and fell. Only Yang Tian, Xiao Fei, and Long Lu survived. Qin Yu sacrificed himself for others. In terms of the attainment of elemental shield, he is far inferior to Yang Tian. He has 3 elemental shields, and the total HP of the shield is only 100 billion, while Yang Tian's shield has 400 billion HP. However, in the entire team, his elemental shield is second only to Yang Tian, far exceeding other mages. After all, it is difficult to upgrade the skill of elemental shield. In addition to directly using skill points, only the mage can put on the shield himself and carry the monster physically to improve the proficiency of elemental shield and then upgrade it. More than 99% of mages, I believe, cannot do this. After all, mages are defined as back row shooters. It is ridiculous to carry monsters physically. It is precisely because of this that the elemental shields of most mages are almost useless, and the later they are, the more exposed they are. In a sense, Qin Yu is indeed quite special. Qin Yu has full level fighting spirit and 8 times damage reduction. If he puts on his 3 elemental shields, he can obviously withstand Suanwu's attack just now. But he chose to put 3 elemental shields on Long Lu. He died, but Long Lu survived. Because he knew very well that Long Lu's role in the team was much higher than his. For example, even if he put on 3 elemental shields, he could block 1 skill of Suanwu, but he could not block 2 skills of Suanwu. If Suanwu used another skill, he would still die. And the same elemental shield was put on Long Lu. Suanwu could not hit Long Lu at all. After all, Long Lu's defense was much higher than his. At this time, Yang Tian Xiaofei had already soared into the air and stood proudly in the air. Long Lu stood below. The 3 people were divided into 3 different directions, opposing Suanwu. After Suanwu killed countless people in a second, it seemed to be bloodthirsty. I saw its body suddenly shrink into the tortoise shell, and it spun wildly like a huge gyroscope. It spun so fast that a powerful whirlwind appeared around it. Bang, 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 the terrifying gyroscope suddenly moved, attacking Yang Tian, Xiao Fei, and Long Lu continuously, like drawing a circle, and drew 3 circles in a row. During this period, its speed was unimaginable, and its large size meant a large attack range, so that Yang Tian and others could not dodge, and were all hit by the gyroscope 3 times. Yang Tian had already opened a glazed bone shield, and had purple full-level fighting spirit to rely on, which reduced damage by 8 times, after enduring 3 hits from the black tortoise, plus the previous Taishan pressure, the white bar on the shield above his head only dropped by half. Xiao Fei also had full-level fighting spirit to rely on, which reduced damage by 8 times, and his 8-winged angel had a HP of 1.6 trillion, which was stronger than Yang Tian's glazed bone shield, so he lost even less blood. As for Long Lu, needless to say, he could even withstand the attacks of the white tiger vermilion bird, and the attack of the black tortoise was like tickling him. This is the characteristic of Suanwu. Although its defense is unmatched among the first-level beasts, its attack power is relatively low. More importantly, it has few attack skills and means of attack, and there are only a few of them. After a while, Suanwu's attack skills were all used up. At this time, it can only use ordinary attacks during the skill CD, and the damage to Yang Tian and others is even lower. It is like a wooden stake, and there is no threat. Xiaofei even rushed up and fought with Suanwu in close combat. When facing the white tiger and vermilion bird, he would never dare to do so easily. Divine Dragon Transformation. Dark Fire Domain. Darkness is coming. Yang Tian also opened buffs in succession, and his combat power was crazy high. Under the continuous output of Yang Tian and Xiaofei, even a strong man like Suanwu, the blood bar above his head slowly dropped. A minute later, Suinwu's blood bar was only half left. Life recovery. At this time, Suinwu shook his body, and a sacred starlight shone around him. In the starlight, Suinwu cried out comfortably, and then, its health bar, which had obviously dropped by half, was restored to full value in the blink of an eye. Sci-fi cursed directly. He and brother Shui had fought hard for so long, and finally knocked down half of his health. This beast said it would recover? Yang Tian's eyes were also stern. His dragon transformation had lasted for 1 minute, and he would fall into a weak state in another 2 minutes. If Suinwu's recovery skill cools down again within 2 minutes, it will be cold. Extreme summoning. With this thought, Yang Tian knew that he couldn't continue to waste like this, and he had to find a way to forcibly weaken Suinwu's health. There is no doubt that in this situation, corpse explosion is a good choice. After 3 seconds of chanting, Yang Tian summoned tens of thousands of undead armies to surround the huge Suinwu. Yang Tian's undead army numbering tens of thousands, all of them are level 183 royal beasts. Their appearance did not even attract Suinwu's attention. Suinwu continued to stomp his feet and attack Yang Tian and the other two with ordinary attacks. His ordinary attacks could cause earthquakes and shockwaves that radiated 100 yards. Yang Tian had just summoned the undead army when they were all swept by the shockwave and then shattered. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 554. Suinwu has very few attack skills. Now it is in a period of skill gap, and it can only use ordinary attacks. Its ordinary attack power is as high as 6 billion, and the power of earthquakes and shockwaves caused by its ordinary attacks decreases according to the distance. With itself as the center of the circle, the earthquakes and shockwaves caused radiate 100 yards. The 100 yards here are the diameter, and the radius, that is, the radius in all directions, is only 50 yards. After the earthquake and shockwave reach the last 50 yards, the power is only 1/5 of its ordinary attack, that is, about 1.2 billion. The HP of the 183 level royal beast undead is only about 1 billion, so it was all killed in seconds as soon as it was summoned. Because of the difference in level and realm, even if Yang Tian used the true eye, he could not see through the specific attributes of Suinwu, and he could not guess it. In his opinion, Suinwu's defense is terrible and can be called no one among the first level beasts, but its combat power should be very low, even worse than that of ordinary first level beasts. However, he was completely wrong. Suinwu was one of the 4 sacred beasts after all. Even if its combat power was not as good as the other 4 sacred beasts, it was far superior to the general first level sacred beasts. So much so that Yang Tian made a wrong judgment. It seems that this Suinwu is stronger than I thought. Yang Tian was slightly surprised, but he was not panicked. Although he made a wrong judgment this time, it had little impact on the entire battle situation, or even no impact at all. Then, he continued to chant and continued to summon the undead. Black Knight *100. Nether Assassin *100. Vampire Count *100. Cerberus *100. Skeleton Demon General *35. This time, he summoned a level 183 sub-immortal, each with a HP of more than 100 billion. If Suinwu used skills, he could of course kill the sub-immortal level undead in seconds, but at this moment Suinwu was still in a skill vacuum period, and it could only use ordinary attacks to cause earthquakes and shock waves. But that power was no threat to the Black Knight and other undead. Although the Black Knight and other undead certainly can't beat Suinwu, Yang Tian summoned them not to let them fight, they are just materials for corpse explosion. Although their number is far less than that of ordinary undead, because of their high realm, the power of corpse explosion is not much different. Corpse explosion. Yang Tian raised his hand and snapped his fingers, and the Black Knight and other undeads instantly pounced on Suinwu, causing a terrifying explosion, smoke and dust everywhere, and a terrifying mushroom cloud emerged in the air. In the mushroom cloud, Suanwu let out a miserable and sharp roar. When all the smoke and dust dissipated, Suanwu only lost about 20% of his blood. You must know that Yang Tian has already turned into a dragon, and in addition, he has opened the dark fire domain. The darkness descended to weaken Suanwu's resistance. Under such circumstances, using corpse explosion can only cause this little damage to Suanwu, which shows that Suanwu's defense is really terrifying. But no matter how terrifying it is, in Yang Tian's view, it is already dead. The damage deepens. Yang Tian snapped his fingers again in succession, and after the corpse explosion, the damage deepened. In an instant, the 80% health bar above Suanwu's head fell off in an instant. Boom! The huge body fell down, exploding a large number of items. Yang Tian smiled with satisfaction. Xiaofei and Long Lu were shocked, their mouths twitched. It must be said that Brother Shui's increased damage is really a sharp weapon for harvesting. Yang Tian killed Suanwu for the first time, and gained a lot of experience points and 10 skill points again. In addition, World Broadcast, congratulations to players Han Shui, Long Lu, Qin Yu, for completing the first clearance of the 4 Symbols Guardian copy. All team members will receive an additional experience reward of 5,000,000,001 skill point. The world broadcast sounded, and all members received rewards. In addition, Yang Tian, who contributed the most to the team, received an additional 10 skill points. Xiaofei, who contributed the second most to the team, received an additional 9 skill points. He killed the white tiger and also had a large output share in the team. Xianyu and Long Er, who contributed the third most to the team, received an additional 8 skill points. She killed the Azure Dragon. In addition, she also received experience points and skill points for clearing the level, but she was an NPC and could not be broadcasted. Long Lu, who contributed the fourth most to the team, received an additional 7 skill points. He suffered the most damage in the team. Qin Yu, who contributed the fifth most to the team, received an additional 6 skill points. Sixth most to the team, received an additional 5 skill points. 10th most to the team, received an additional 1 skill point. In such a world dungeon, Yang Tian killed the vermilion bird and the black tortoise, and cleared the level and contributed the most to the team. He received a total of 31 skill points and a large amount of experience points. He leveled up again and reached level 184. Xiaofei, Long Er, Long Lu, Qin Yu, and everyone else received generous rewards and returned with a full load. The world broadcast was refreshed 3 times in a row, and Yang Tian, Xiaofei, Long Lu, Qin Yu, and others, mainly Yang Tian and Xiaofei, became famous again. At this time, the Chinese theater was already boiling. Shui Ji is awesome. Xiaofei is awesome. Long Lu is awesome. Shui Meng is awesome. Thank you for showing up for our Chinese theater. What do the anchors do? Shui Ji and the others have killed the world dungeon for the first time, so why is there not even a related live broadcast room? Brother, you must be kidding. If you want to secretly take pictures of the dungeon, the anchor must at least get into Shui Ji's team. That's too difficult. I don't care, I just want to watch Shui Ji. I feel uncomfortable if I don't watch him for a day. Countless players were inexplicably excited, and they formed teams to find translators to bomb the forums of other overseas war zones and post to show off. After all, this 4 Elephants Guardian copy was the first world copy to be killed. And the first kill team was Chinese, which was too proud. In fact, now many overseas strongmen have killed wild beasts for the first time, which triggered world broadcasts and became famous, but this is still the first world copy to be killed. In just a few minutes, the news that Yang Tian, Xiaofei, and others killed the world copy for the first time was spread by many water armies and the media, and it has become a world topic and exploded. However, the protagonists were completely unaware. After defeating Suan Wu, Yang Tian, Xiaofei, and Long Lu began to clean up the spoils, 2 Xiaoguang items. In addition to the Suan Wu bloodline, what made Yang Tian and the other two ecstatic was that there was actually a Suan Wu pet egg. Suan Wu bloodline, this thing, the first kill is a must. Well, if you kill a spirit beast, fairy beast, holy beast, divine beast, NPC spirit king, fairy king, holy king, or god level strongman for the first time, your bloodline will definitely explode. But it is only the first kill. In the wild, it is difficult for spirit beasts, fairy beasts, holy beasts, and divine beasts to be refreshed after being killed for the first time, especially divine beasts, which may not be refreshed again for 1 or 2 years, and may not explode their bloodline even if they are refreshed. And the copy of 4 Symbols Guardian will be closed for a month after being cleared, and then reopened. And next time, if another player or team comes in to attack Azure Dragon, White Tiger, Vermilion Bird, and Black Tortoise, they may not be able to explode their bloodline, and the probability is even very low. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 555. So forget about the Suan Wu bloodline. Since it is bound to explode, there is naturally nothing to say, but the Suan Wu pet egg is very exaggerated. A mythical beast pet egg, and this Suan Wu is not an ordinary mythical beast. Suan Wu bloodline, Xiaoguang/consumable after use, the attributes will be greatly improved, and the bloodline skills Guardian of the Turtle and Life Restoration will be obtained. Turtle Guardian, instantly cast, you will release an energy shield with a radius of 100 yards centered on yourself to protect your teammates. All damage will be borne by you. CD, 10 minutes. Life Restoration, instant, restore half of the blood volume, CD, 1 minute. Suan Wu Battle Pet Egg, Xiaoguang/consumable after hatching with blood, you can get Suan Wu cubs. The Turtle Guardian is obviously a team skill. At that time, Suan Wu was the only one around him. No wonder it was not used during the entire battle. This Suan Wu bloodline is obviously suitable for tanks, but Long Lu does not need it. Long Lu already has the bloodline of a god-level steel dragon. He cannot change this bloodline because this bloodline is very consistent with his profession of shield warrior. He changed his profession to become a dragon-blooded shield warrior, and gain the 2 additional features of Divine Dragon Transformation and Divine Dragon Physique. A professional skill. Although he cannot learn Dragon Blood Fighting Spirit, he can still learn other professional skills of Dragon Blood Warriors in the future, if any. In other words, as long as he changes this bloodline, he will lose at least 2 powerful skills. Therefore, no matter how much he personally likes the Suan Wu bloodline, he can only take a look. Although after being promoted to the Human King, one can have up to 7 bloodlines, it is almost impossible for him as a shield warrior to be promoted to the Human King. Yang Tian was sure of being promoted to the Human King, so he also considered the Suan Wu bloodline. At the same time, he could also choose to give up the Suan Wu bloodline to Huang Mao. That's right. In Yang Tian's view, only he and Huang Mao Xiaofei are the only 3 people in the entire Water Alliance who have the potential to be promoted to the Human King. Xiaofei is already an angel, and the blood of angels is extremely domineering, and there is no way to change it. He is an angel, and there is no way he can turn back into a human, so there is no way he can be promoted to the Human King. But Yang Tian Huang Mao can make an impact, and with the strength of the 2 of them, the possibility is very high. In Yang Tian's view, Huang Mao is his brother. There is no need for him to hide it. He has already told Huang Mao about the method of promotion to the Human King. I believe that boy has already started sprinting. Long Lu, are you interested in the Suan Wu pet egg? Yang Tian looked at Long Lu and asked with a smile. In Taixu, after the player dies, no matter how powerful the battle pets and mounts are, they will disappear. This is the same as the undead army under Yang Tian. In other words, only players with sufficient strength can give full play to the power of their pets and mounts. And Long Lu is a super tank. After reaching level 200 and becoming a god, it will undoubtedly become more terrifying. Suanwu and him will definitely not be buried. Yang Tian obviously intended to give up the Suanwu pet egg to Long Lu, but Long Lu shook his head. Forget it, I have no interest in pets. If I really want it, I want a pet with strong combat power to make up for my disadvantage in combat power. If this Suanwu follows me, then 2 tanks will be considered. What's going on? Long Lu shook his head and refused. Isn't Suanwu's combat power strong enough? Yang Tian was startled. It is one of the 4 divine beasts, and its combat power is not as low as you think. Long Lu still shook his head. Compared to Suanwu, I prefer Qinglong White Tiger. Yang Tian smiled and scolded, "Tisk tisk, you are thinking too well. Being able to explode Suanwu eggs is already pretty good, right?" Immediately afterwards, Yang Tian glanced at Xiao Fei. "Brother Shui, I don't need any pets, I'm an assassin." Xiao Fei shook his head decisively. Yeah, Yang Tian nodded, quite appreciative. In his previous life, he was a god-level assassin, so he had no pets. Assassins don't need pets. Assassins have time to cultivate pets, so they might as well spend their time improving their own skills. I'll go, no one wants it? This is a Suanwu egg. Yang Tian was helpless. If it didn't work, he could only use it himself. To be honest, he doesn't need a pet. He believes in his own strength very much. As strong as Saring Snake, it is now a holy beast. However, Yang Tian rarely summons it to help. At most, he only summons it to pick up things. But after all, Suanwu is one of the 4 divine beasts with extraordinary strength. If it had always been a pet egg, it would have been too buried. "Boss, you don't want this basalt egg, I want it." Qin Yu quickly clicked on the team channel. "Go away, you are too fragile. You are often the quickest to die in battle. Do you have a chance to summon Suanwu?" Xiao Fei sneered. You sister, won't I be just like you after I become a god? Besides, I still have an elemental shield," Qin Yu argued. "But after all, you haven't become a god yet. You are only level 182, so it's still early. Before you become a god, Suanwu will follow you and be buried." Xiao Fei shook his head disdainfully. "Yes, I agree." Long Lu nodded silently, quietly standing on the same front as Xiao Fei. You guys, are too bullying." Qin Yu cried bitterly. Just as they were arguing, Yang Tian hatched the Suanwu egg with blood. "Boss." Qin Yu was startled. "Well, I really can't bear to watch Suanwu being buried in your hands," Yang Tian said with a smile. "Show." "Sure enough, the show is still Brother Shui's show," Xiao Fei Long Lu praised. "Wow, I feel so bad, I want to throw myself into the arms of my sister and cry." Qin Yu was still brushing the screen in the team channel, but no one paid attention to him. After Yang Tian hatched Suanwu, he and Suanwu instantly ranked first in the world battle pet list. The second is Huangmao's green dragon. The third is Yang Tian's Tang snake. Now, Huangmao's green dragon is already a level 180 holy beast. It can only be said that the pet upgrades too fast, and the ranking exceeds the vine snake. Huangmao has a divine power in his hand. It seems that he did not feed it to the green dragon, or, he has already fed it, but the green dragon failed to upgrade. The world battle pet list is not paid much attention to, but it does not mean that no one pays attention to it. In particular, after Yang Tian, Xiaofei and others first killed 4 elephants guardian, countless players have been constantly refreshing to check the world equipment list to see if they have exploded artifacts. Of course, there were a few people who kept checking the world battle pet list and were shocked when they saw it. The news spread quickly. Brother Shui got a black tortoise egg. What dungeon did they kill first? If there is a black tortoise, there will be a blue dragon, a white tiger, and a red bird, right? Brother Shui is awesome, first on the 3 lists. Brother Shui is awesome, first on the 3 lists. Brother Shui is awesome, first on the 3 lists. It's terrifying, Brother Shui is really the face of our Chinese war zone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 556. Tisk tisk, the beast eggs have all been dropped, but no artifacts have been dropped. Brother, you are showing your IQ is low when you say that. The artifacts must be level 200. Maybe Brother Shui and his friends have dropped artifacts, but they are not at the right level to equip them. And equipment that has not been equipped cannot be on the list. You, are all artifacts level 200? Did you eat Brother Shui's, or my wife Long Earth's Xianyuan sword? Is that a level 200 artifact? That artifact is very special. Special, you, get out. On the Chinese War Zone channel, there were all kinds of broadcasts and discussions. At this time, Yang Tian had already led the team out of the dungeon. At this moment, the dungeon mirror disappeared and would not reappear until a month later. A month here is based on 30 days. Of course, before exiting the dungeon, Yang Tian went to the East Gate, South Gate, West Gate, and the Central Square for a tour. But he did not find the so-called gate. Obviously, the time they spent on the 4 Symbols Guardian dungeon this time did not meet the requirements for leading out the door. But it doesn't matter, Yang Tian will definitely come again next month. Not only the door, Yang Tian also has to kill the Azure Dragon and the White Tiger himself. After all, this time, it was Xianyuan Longer who killed the Azure Dragon and Xiao Fei who killed the White Tiger, so that he didn't kill them. If you want to be promoted to the Human King, you must kill 100 beasts before becoming a god, and the quota of these 2 beasts is also very critical. How do you feel? Yang Tian looked at the team members. Being swept by Yang Tian's eyes, except for Xiao Fei, Long Lu, Qin Yu, and others who didn't care, many people lowered their heads in shame. Although this dungeon was cleared. But in terms of strength and team contribution, most people didn't play any role, and basically lay dead as soon as they entered the boss room. After a dungeon, most people are just slackers, mixing some experience and skill points. It's okay. The world dungeon is really difficult for you. Go back and keep working hard. Yang Tian smiled, disbanded the team, and everyone returned to the Chinese theater. After returning to the Chinese theater, most people in the Water Alliance went to Fantasy World. They realized that the world ocean was not their stage yet. After a while, only Xianyuan Longer, Xiao Fei, Long Lu, and Qin Yu were left by Yang Tian's side. Boss, I'm going to pick up girls. This is the task you gave me, Qin Yu said shamelessly. Go, go, the girl is a 6-winged demon. Her strength may not be weaker than yours. You have to work hard too. Yang Tian laughed and scolded, but Qin Yu had already left, and it was unknown whether he heard it in the end. Brother Shui, I'm going to the angel realm too. Don't worry, I will come back with the blood of the 8-winged angel when I come back. Xiao Fei smiled confidently. In an instant, a strange phenomenon fell from the sky. The sky cracked, and a white beam of light fell directly to the ground, covering Xiao Fei. Xiao Fei is an angel. Not only the 8-winged angels, but all angels, even the weakest 2-winged angels, can go directly to the angel realm. If it were before, Yang Tian would definitely envy Xiao Fei going to the upper realm, but not now, because he already knows the channel to the divine realm. But before that, he must become a god first, and before becoming a god, he must become a human king first. So what he needs to do now is nothing else, just find a divine beast to kill. This kid, it seems that I didn't give him the 8-winged angel bloodline directly, and he still minds it. Yang Tian laughed secretly, but didn't point it out. Let this kid have a goal, he will be more motivated. Even if he brings back the 8-winged angel bloodline, he doesn't use it himself, he can also accumulate light energy after swallowing it, which is not a bad thing. After sending Xiao Fei away, Yang Tian looked at Long Lu. They are all gone, what about you? I don't care, I just lack the level. Long Lu smiled. Yang Tian was stunned. Long Lu is indeed very strong, but he has reached a bottleneck. He can only continue to improve when he reaches level 200. Of course, Yang Tian himself has also reached a bottleneck, so he is eager to be promoted to the Human King. Brother Shui, I will follow you. Wherever you go, I will follow you, Long Lu suggested. After he became stronger, he became more confident and no longer regarded himself as a burden, but a super tank. Well, that's good. Yang Tian nodded. He will continue to go to the world's oceans, or even to overseas war zones, to find beasts to kill. If he encounters an 8-winged angel or a light beast, he can't do much damage in a one-on-one fight, and the blood-sucking special effect is useless, and he will almost certainly lose. The black tortoise has just hatched and is still a baby. Before it can show its power, it is indeed a good choice to take Long Lu with him. As long as Long Lu is given a glazed bone shield, Long Lu will be like an undefeated god of war, helping him to resist everything. If the bone shield is given to Long Lu, what will Yang Tian do? Actually, it's okay. Because in addition to the bone shield, Yang Tian also had a sacrifice of the dead left by Moli. Yang Tian only needed to sacrifice 5 sacred beasts, the bone dragons, to get a shield of 2 trillion plus. That was a shield more powerful than the glazed bone shield. Next, Yang Tian, Long Er, and Long Lu returned to the palace of the Xianyuan Empire first. Then, Yang Tian went straight to the palace warehouse and put the Feather of Divine Fire in first. For the time being, only Yang Tianlong can use this royal warehouse of Xianyuan Empire, which is extremely safe. Then, the blood of Lich King, Iron Backthorn Dragon, White Tiger, Vermilion Bird, Black Tortoise, as well as Lich King Scepter, Thorn Dragon Armor, Shinhui Ring, and other valuable items were also put into the warehouse. In fact, Yang Tian is very confident in his own strength. He always feels that he will not die easily and will not easily lose his equipment, but it is better to be cautious about such things. What's more, he can't use those things now, and it will take up space if he puts them on him, right? After everything was settled, Yang Tian turned back and reunited with the two people, saying, Long Lu, let's go. What about me? Xuan Yuanlong pointed at herself and said pitifully. She has taken revenge and restored her country, and there is no regret in her life. But she also has no relatives, and it is meaningless to guard the palace alone, but she will feel extremely lonely. Ling Er, we are players, protected by the laws of this world, and we can't die no matter what. But you are different, you have died once, have you forgotten? Yang Tian said helplessly. In fact, Yang Tian has told her this many times. Generally, Yang Tian will only take her with him when he is brushing a dungeon. Yang Tian will naturally not forget that because of Ling Er, he swept through thousands of troops in the early stage, sang loudly and fiercely, gained a huge advantage, and laid a solid foundation. To be honest, Ling Er and Xiao Jin have made great contributions to Yang Tian's success today. However, as he becomes stronger, he often has to face stronger enemies. Not taking her with him is actually a kind of protection for her. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 557. Ling Er lowered her head sadly. How could she not understand this? It's just that she was guarding the palace alone, unable to do anything, with no one around her, a watcher. That kind of loneliness is not deceptive. How can a 20-year-old girl bear it? Alas, looking at Long Er's sad look, Yang Tian sighed helplessly. Ling do you still remember Alice? Yang Tian asked. Of course. Alice is your friend, right? Yang Tian asked. Of course. Then are you willing to temporarily put down your Empress's heirs and go find the residual soul of your friend Alice? Yang Tian asked with a smile. Of course. Long was angry, her pretty face flushed, and she glared at Yang Tian fiercely. What Empress, what heirs, this guy's words are so ugly. Although he is an emperor, the whole army respects you, even himself. Too much, this guy is too much. Long was so angry that she was like an angry lioness, wishing she could rush up and bite Yang Tian to death. Okay, I was just kidding. Yang Tian smiled, took out the soul exploration instrument and handed it to Long and said carefully, you should know this thing, Alice is in your hands. Yeah, Long nodded, and calmed down in an instant, and even grinned, showing a mouthful of white and beautiful teeth. Well, then I'll go first. Long waved to Yang Tian, and waved to Long Lu by the way, and left on his own. What a sin! Yang Tian sighed when Long disappeared in front of him. After having Lu Yan, Yang Tian has become more mature and can understand a little bit of a girl's mind. He made Long angry with a casual word, and made Long grin with another casual word. He knew that even if Long didn't love him, she at least regarded him as a spiritual pillar. She was just a 20-year-old girl. Yang Tian couldn't help but feel guilty. It's great, talking about love with an NPC, but Brother Shui, I think Long is very good, and Tegzu is real enough. Since you are single, don't be picky. Long Lu laughed obscenely on the side. Of course, he didn't know about Lu Yan's existence. After all, Lu Yan's identity is special, and Yang Tian couldn't mention it to his brothers. Shut your stinky mouth, Yang Tian shouted coldly. Yang Tian thought to himself that he still had to maintain a certain dignity in front of his younger brothers. Otherwise, those guys are all talented, and one day they really have wings. If he can't shake them off, it will be too embarrassing. Long Lu was still laughing, and it was obvious that he didn't take it too seriously. However, when he reacted, Yang Tian had turned into white light and disappeared. He had teamed up with Yang Tian a long time ago. Through the team system, he could naturally see Yang Tian's coordinates. He found that Yang Tian went to the last island in the Sea of Ruins. There was a teleportation array of the Water Alliance there, and Long Lu quickly teleported there. Brother Shui, what are you doing here? Long Lu asked puzzledly. Waiting for someone, Yang Tian replied. Waiting for whom? Long Lu was startled. But as soon as he finished speaking, the teleportation array under his feet flashed a white light, and then a figure appeared. It was Dr. Adis. Master. After seeing Yang Tian, Adis was still as respectful as ever. What's going on? Yang Tian asked. What's going on? Long Lu was confused. Then, Adis took out an instrument that looked similar to the soul exploration instrument. Long Lu thought it was the soul exploration instrument and nodded in understanding. Brother Shui gave his instrument to Xianyu and Long so before leaving for the world ocean, he asked the doctor for another one. As expected of Brother Shui, he was cautious and clear-minded. Brother Shui himself has not forgotten Alice. He plans to find Alice's residual soul while doing his own work. Long Lu sighed secretly and felt awe for Yang Tian's character. This thing can locate the coordinates of the beast. Yang Tian took the instrument from Adis, played with it for a few times, and asked. Huh? Long Lu woke up from his dream in an instant, his mouth opened wide, and his chin had fallen to the ground. What beast? Long Lu was confused, it seemed that he didn't know anything yet. Master is really a genius, Adis gave a thumbs up, and did not hide his praise for Yang Tian. Why did you suddenly become a genius? Long Liu's mind was still confused. Facing Long Liu's inquiries and doubts, Adis snorted and explained excitedly, I spent my whole life researching, and I only developed a semi-finished soul exploration instrument. Of course, I died soon after, otherwise, I could have developed a finished soul exploration instrument. But that's still nothing. The master gave a little hint, and the second generation of soul exploration instrument was born. It's more convenient than before. You can specify the search for the souls of lords and above, which greatly improves our efficiency in finding souls. Then, the third and fourth generations of soul exploration instruments were born. You can specify the search for the souls of lords and above, the souls of kings and above, the souls of emperors and above, and even the souls of gods and above. Of course, God-level souls don't seem to exist at all. The current soul exploration instrument is perfect. It has more functions and is much more convenient than before. Oh, that's really amazing. Longlu nodded lightly, but he didn't think so in his heart. He had known about this kind of thing for a long time. Okay. What's so surprising about it? Boy, listen to me. After being interrupted, Addis glared at Longlu fiercely. He was loyal to Yang Tian, but he would not be loyal to anyone else. After all, he was a saint king and a genius doctor. He was still arrogant. Khan, you say. Longlu smiled awkwardly. Just a few days ago, the master suddenly contacted me. Addis said, his expression intoxicated, as if he was immersed in memories. A few days ago. To be precise, it was the 11th day ago. Yang Tian suddenly had a flash of inspiration in his mind. Because of the master-servant relationship, the master and the war servant had a soul connection. Yang Tian directly contacted Dr. Addis, Doctor. Master Addis responded quickly. Well, the soul exploration instrument you developed is already perfect, but that thing can only search for the dead. Have you ever thought about trying to locate and search for beasts, humans, or even angels and demons? Yang Tian said his thoughts. This. In an instant, Dr. Addis seemed to be enlightened. I think the theory should be the same. With your technology, you should be able to develop it. Yang Tian laughed. At that moment, in Dr. Addis's view, Yang Tian's laughter was like the laughter of God. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 558. Dr. Addis has technology, but his ideas are rather rigid. There are some things that he dare not even think about. It can be said that the ideas proposed by Yang Tian made him successful. However, his technology also made Yang Tian's ideas successful. Thus, the most perfect search instrument in history was born. It is much more complicated than before, but each function is extremely practical and convenient. It can search for dead souls, and search in levels, such as only searching for dead souls above the location Lord, and only searching for dead souls above the location King. It can search for beasts, and search in levels. It can search for humans, and search in levels. It can search for angels, and search in levels. It can search for demons, and search in levels. And the search map is the entire human world of Taixu. Of course, this is because Yang Tian did not go to the upper world. If Yang Tian took the instrument to the upper world, the search map should also be replaced with the map of the upper world. In this case, this instrument can really search for divine beasts. Longlu was completely shocked after hearing what Dr. Addis said. Not only the divine beasts, now this instrument has met all the search requirements. Addis seemed very proud. It was true that Yang Tian provided the idea, but this kind of search instrument was probably only developed by him. Doctor, thank you. Yang Tian played with the instrument casually, and his heart was also excited. He had lived 2 lives, and because of his experience in his previous life, he knew the coordinates of some divine beasts around the world. But how much could he know? Through this instrument, all the divine beasts in the lower world can be searched and located, which is too terrifying. With this thought, Yang Tian couldn't help but want to try the instrument in his hand. At present, this instrument has become quite complicated. He fumbled around and figured out some things. Generally speaking, This instrument has only two functions like the original one, the first search, and the second specified search, only for the dead soul. Through a certain dead soul, or a certain hero fragment, you can specify the search for the dead soul or the hero dead soul. And the first search function has become very diverse. First, select the search target. This is a multiple choice. You can select the dead soul, beast, human, angel, demon at the same time. For the purpose of testing, Yang Tian temporarily only selected beasts. Then select search level, which is divided into Lord, King Beast, Emperor Beast, Spirit Beast, etc. Yang Tian selected the Divine Beast level. Then confirm the search. Ding ding ding. The small screen of the instrument flashed, and then dense red dots appeared, and those red dots, without exception, were all divine beasts. Although the screen of the instrument is very small, it is actually a map of the entire Taixu human world. The screen can be dragged, enlarged, and reduced. Yang Tian held the instrument in his hand. He was currently standing on the last island of the Sea of Ruins, which still belongs to the scope of the Chinese war zone. And his coordinates were in the center of the instrument screen. The screen is too small, this is the only drawback. Yang Tian sighed. Master, this screen can be enlarged. Take a look at the third function, Edith said. There is a third function. Yang Tian was startled, but he also noticed that there was a third button on the instrument. Yang Tian clicked it casually. A flash of white light, the screen on the instrument turned into a light curtain and projected out. However, Yang Tian played for the first time, and the angle was wrong, so that the light screen was projected on his face. Yang Tian quickly adjusted the angle so that the light screen was projected in front of him. It was a map, square, about 3 yards long and 5 yards wide, which was the map of the entire Taixu human world, that is, the world map. The length unit in the game is yards, and the real unit is meters. 1 yard equals 0.9 meters. At this time, Long Lu and Dr. Adis came to stand beside Yang Tian, and the three of them observed and studied the map together. Yang Tian first discovered that his coordinates were no longer in the center of the map. After all, it was a world map, and the Chinese war zone where he was located was just a corner. On the entire world map, a huge blue circle appeared in the center, which was obviously the world ocean. The world ocean occupies more than 70% of the total area of the world map. Of course, in the blue world ocean on the map, there are also countless islands marked with khaki. The continents of more than 10 war zones, such as the Chinese war zone, the Korean war zone, the Japanese war zone, the American war zone, the British war zone, the North American war zone, the South American war zone, etc., are located in various corners of the world map. Tisk tisk, the area of the world ocean is really large. The area of our more than 10 war zones combined is not even half of it. Long Lu smacked his lips. Yang Tian ignored him and continued to observe the map. The map was full of red dots. Yang Tian's eyes first locked on the Chinese war zone, and there were 14 red dots in the Chinese war zone, that is, 14 mythical beasts. Among them, Yang Tian knew Beast King Earth Bear and second-level mythical beast Dowdy. Although Yang Tian had killed the Earth Bear was in the copy of Beast King Valley. Anyone can challenge it, and the Earth Bear will naturally not disappear. And in the Chinese war zone alone, there were 12 mythical beasts that Yang Tian didn't know. More importantly, the 12 red dots were almost all clustered together. Copy. Yang Tian first thought of a copy. It must be a hidden copy that no one had discovered in his previous life. Brother Shui, look there, 12 divine beasts gathered together, obviously a dungeon. Long Lu pointed to the 12 red dots to Yang Tian, and had the same idea. Yeah, Yang Tian nodded. Since it is a dungeon, it is too bad for 1 or 2 people to brush it. Only by forming a large group can the benefits be maximized. Xiaofei, Qin Yu, and others have just started their own actions. Yang Tian feels that it is not appropriate to call them over now, so let's wait until next month. Next month, Yang Tian will summon them back to brush 4 Symbols Guardian first, and then brush that dungeon. Anyway, no one has discovered that hidden dungeon in the previous life, so Yang Tian is not afraid that it will be discovered so easily, and even if someone discovers it, he has to brush it. Looking away from the mainland of the Chinese war zone, Yang Tian immediately looked at the continents of other war zones. Each war zone has about 3 to 8 divine beasts, and altogether there are about 100 divine beasts. Fantasy World is the largest world dungeon, and there are also dozens of divine beasts in it. And in the world ocean, Yang Tianlonglu patiently counted and found that there were about 350 divine beasts. In other words, there were about 500 divine beasts in the world map, that is, in the entire human world of Taixu. To be promoted to the human king, humans must kill 100 divine beasts before becoming gods. So, looking at the world, how many people can truly become human kings? Not to mention, there are not many people who really know the existence of the human king. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 559. Perhaps, there are more beasts in the upper realm. But only angels, demons, or god-level warriors can go to the upper realm. Those people can no longer become human kings. The Brave War Zone is the Awakener War Zone. That war zone is a stage opened by the superiors specifically for awakeners, and it has abundant resources. But it is just a war zone after all. Even if the resources are abundant, can it be compared with the official server where billions of players log in together? Impossible. Perhaps, there are not even 100 beasts in the Awakener War Zone. The Awakener War Zone may not give birth to a human king at all. Master, if there is nothing else, I will take my leave first. Suddenly, Edith said respectfully. For more than 10 days, he has been developing instruments. Now that he has completed it, he should continue the task assigned to him by Yang Tian, which is to continue looking for the souls of Alice, Carrie, and Xiao Jin. Well, thank you for your hard work. Yang Tian nodded. Alice said goodbye and left. Alice, Xiao Jin, and Chris all died in the Chinese war zone, so their souls are probably wandering in the Chinese war zone. Addis and Hill used instruments to search within the Chinese war zone. Of course, Yang Tian still didn't know that Xiao Jin's soul ball had been crushed by God's left hand and ascended to the divine realm. Brother Shui, are we going to kill the beast? Longlu was eager to try. Although he didn't know the existence of the human king, challenging the beast was a very interesting thing. Moreover, after killing the beast, he could get rich benefits. Yeah, Yang Tian nodded and slowly stretched out his palm. A white light flashed, and a small turtle appeared in his palm. It was the black tortoise cub. Although the black tortoise cub was only half the size of a palm at this time, it looked quite majestic, especially the high bulge of the tortoise shell was completely different from ordinary small turtles. Whoosh! The little black tortoise suddenly jumped onto Yang Tian's head, turned around, and lay down quietly. Xiao Suanwu is a divine beast. Although it is only level 1 now, it still has the ability to fly. In addition, the divine beast must be able to speak human language, but that guy seems to be more silent. Since Yang Tian hatched it, it has not said a word, and even did not call out. In addition, although Yang Tian hatched it with blood, its initial favorability to Yang Tian was only 65 points. You know, when Yang Tian hatched the Snow Wolf King Xiaobai and the Thunder Leopard Xiaoliai, their initial favorability to him was the full value of 100 points. It can only be said that the divine beast is a divine beast, and it is very arrogant. Perhaps this is one of the reasons why it disdains to talk to Yang Tian. Long Lu, lend you some experience, Yang Tian suddenly said. Oh, oh. Long Lu didn't understand what Yang Tian meant, but nodded. Afterwards, Yang Tian opened the team system. Yang Tian was the leader and Long Lu was a member. Well, there are only 2 people in the team at present. As the team leader, Yang Tian modified the distribution plan of team members' experience points. Han Shui gets 100% experience points, Long Lu gets 0% experience points. In this mode, Yang Tian and Long Lu kill monsters. Yang Tian gets all experience points, Long Lu gets no experience points. Yang Tian and Xiao Suanwu share 50% of the experience points he gets, which is the default mode for players to distribute experience points with battle pets, and it can also be modified. Then Yang Tian modified the experience point distribution plan between himself and Xiao Suanwu. Han Shui gets 0% experience points and Suanwu Cub gets 100% experience points. In this way, when Yang Tian and Long Lu kill monsters, neither of them will get any experience points, and Xiao Suanwu gets all experience points. Obviously, Yang Tian's purpose is to raise Xiao Suanwu's level first. After all, battle pets upgrade very quickly. Yang Tian and Long Lu are stepping on the Water Alliance teleportation array, and are currently on the last island of the Sea of Ruins. There are obviously monsters on this island. They are black spiders the size of calves and named Sky Demon spiders. They are all Lord monsters of level 175-180. After many revisions of Taegzu, monsters generally do not attack outdoor teleportation arrays by default, but they will obviously attack enemies, that is, invaders of their territory. At this time, Yang Tianlonglia was already surrounded by Sky Demon spiders, but the 2 did not care at all and let the Sky Demon spiders attack. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. The Sky Demon spiders could not break through Yang Tianlonglia's defense. Snap! Yang Tian snapped his fingers casually, and black flames appeared under his feet. With himself as the center of the circle, the black flames spread around, covering a radius of hundreds of yards. At the same time, countless Sky Demon spiders around were covered in the range of the black flames. Squeaky, the Sky Demon spiders fluttered and rolled in the flames, screaming shrilly. 8 million! 8 million! 8 million! Huge damage appeared continuously, almost blocking the view. The HP of the Sky Demon spider was only over 10 million, and it could not last more than 2 seconds in the dark sea of fire before it fell and became a corpse. Countless Sky Demon spiders died, and items were scattered all over the ground, which also provided terrible experience points for the little Suanwu. System, congratulations, your pet Suanwu cub has been upgraded, and the current level is 2. System, congratulations, your pet Suanwu cub has been upgraded, and the current level is 3. System, congratulations, your pet Suanwu has been upgraded, and the current level is 53. System, congratulations, your pet Suanwu has increased its favorability towards you, and the current level is 73 points. There were continuous system prompts in his ears, but Yang Tian had no time to feel happy. Because at this moment, the little Suanwu suddenly opened up, and his body suddenly became larger and heavier by unknown times, like a huge millstone on his head. Oh, my! Yang Tian staggered and almost fell to the ground. Little turtle, what are you doing? Can't you grow bigger or smaller? Yang Tian complained to the guy above his head. Obviously, this little turtle was another flash of inspiration in Yang Tian's mind, and he gave the little Suanwu a domineering name. Little turtle, Long Lu almost fell down when he heard it. Xiaobai, Xiaoliai, Xiajin, and then little turtle, brother Shui, I have to say, the names you gave are really nice. Long Lu rolled his eyes fiercely, and was simply powerless to complain. Nice, right, someone really believed it, which immediately made Long Lu look at him with doubtful eyes. Is this really the Shui brother I know? He is so powerful, why is his name so weak? I am Suanwu, one of the 4 sacred beasts, not the turtle you mentioned. I can grow bigger or smaller, Suinwu suddenly spoke. It was the voice of a young man, but its tone seemed very mature. At the same time, a white light flashed, and the already large Suinwu grew larger again. In an instant, Yang Tian was bent over, and Yang Tian had to stretch out his hand and support himself with great effort. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 560. Feeling Yang Tian's embarrassed look, Xianwu laughed. Young man, we are destined to be together. If you respect me a little, I don't mind clearing all obstacles for you, Xianwu said domineeringly. The relationship between Yang Tian and Xianwu is that of master and pet. Yang Tian is the master and Xianwu is the pet. This is the same as the master-servant relationship, a relationship between superiors and subordinates. It is a dignified Xianwu, one of the 4 sacred beasts. How could it be willing to be inferior to others? Although Yang Tian hatched it, it naturally had a better impression of Yang Tian. As a sacred beast, it would not run away or betray, but it also wanted to show its power, balance the relationship between the two, or even swap it. Xianwu laughed wildly, and suddenly felt that his body was lifted up. This was obviously done by Yang Tian. It obviously requires extremely powerful strength to lift the huge and bulky Xianwu. This strength is not that strength, not the strength attribute in the game. It is more appropriate to describe it as strength. Under normal circumstances, Yang Tian obviously does not have that kind of power. However, Yang Tian has transformed into a vampire count at this time, and the nature of his power has changed. He easily lifted Suinwu up, and then threw Suinwu's entire body out with a little force, smashing it on the ground, and the dust flew. Boy, you are still too early to show off to me, Yang Tian sneered, flashed up, and stepped on Suinwu's head with all his strength. Although Yang Tian, as the master, could not cause specific damage to Suinwu, it still hurt. Suinwu roared in pain, but Yang Tian was cold in his heart. To deal with arrogant guys, you have to be more arrogant and suppress them directly with strength. System, congratulations, your pet Suinwu has a higher favorability towards you, currently 74 points. Do you dare to be more mean? As the system prompt sounded in his ears, Yang Tian was obviously startled. He had already prepared for Suinwu's favorability to drop. After all, his taming method was a bit too much. Unexpectedly, it increased, although only a little, which made him suspect that the Suinwu was a masochist. Young man, no, boss, I surrender, I was wrong. Suinwu, who was stepped on by Yang Tian, said pitifully with a layer of mist in his eyes. Oh. Yang Tian loosened his foot. The system prompted that Suinwu's favorability had increased. The system would not lie, so Yang Tian was very sure that Suinwu was not pretending to surrender, but it was really a masochist. So, Yang Tian officially tamed Suinwu. Looking at the series of sudden situations in front of him, Longlu was already dumbfounded. In his opinion, the newly hatched pets all have a full favorability of 100 points, but he didn't expect that the Suinwu was quite special. Brother Shui, congratulations on having another powerful pet at this time. Suinwu became smaller and lay on Yang Tian's head, looking harmless and well behaved. Seeing this, Longlu couldn't help but smack his lips and said awkwardly. Well, it's okay. Yang Tian raised the corner of his mouth and smiled wantonly. Well. Suinwu cried pitifully, seeming dissatisfied, but dared not refute. Half an hour later, Yang Tian killed more than a dozen waves of sky demon spiders on the spot, allowing Suinwu to gain a huge amount of experience points. At this time, it has risen to level 105 and its favorability has reached 90 points. During this period, Suinwu upgraded crazily, and its body continued to grow larger and heavier, but it was afraid that Yang Tian would beat it again, so every time there was a breakthrough, its body swelled, and it would shrink back instantly. Compared with before, it is now unbelievably well behaved. Okay, it's almost done, let's go. Suinwu has already reached level 105. Yang Tian is obviously not satisfied with continuing to kill the sky demon spider here. With a command, he and Long Lu flew to the world ocean together. Yang Tian and Long Lu came to the world ocean and first headed towards the nearest red dot coordinates. During this period, Yang Tian again modified the distribution plan of team members' experience points. Han Shui gets 0% experience points and Long Lu gets 100% experience points. After that, Yang Tian will not get any experience points when Yang Tian and Long Lu kill monsters. And if he does not get experience points, Suinwu will not get experience points. The experience points gained by pets are based on the experience points of their owners. Brother Shui, even if you are not in a hurry to upgrade, Suinwu will also upgrade, right? Long Lu wondered. It's okay, there are extra rewards for the first kill. Yang Tian smiled. Killing a mythical beast will get a lot of experience points, and if it is the first kill, there will be extra experience points rewards. The extra experience points reward for killing the first beast is much more than the experience points for killing the beast itself, at least 10 times more. I see. Long Lu nodded and said no more. After a while, Yang Tian Long Lu arrived at the destination. However, there were no islands around the two of them, only sea areas, which means that the beast was lurking on the bottom of the sea. Plop plop. Yang Tian Long Lu dived into the sea without saying anything. Now both of them are Saint Kings, they can breathe freely in the sea water and ignore the deep sea water pressure. For those above the Spirit King, they are the same in the air, on land, and in the deep sea, and their attributes will not be weakened at all. The bottom of the deep sea. Yang Tian Long Lu finally found the target, which turned out to be a huge green sea turtle, named Deep Sea God Turtle, a 200-level beast. Because of the insufficient level and realm, Yang Tian's true eye can only see these. At this time, the Deep Sea God Turtle was lying on the bottom of the sea to take a nap, and around it, there were actually 2 dragons on guard. The Jiaolong, although it looks like the original dragon of the Dragon Clan, is not a dragon clan, and can only be regarded as a sub-dragon at most. Generally speaking, the upper limit of the Jiaolong, if it does not refine the divine nature, can only reach the level of a holy beast at most. Its bloodline is not the bloodline of the original dragon, but only the bloodline of the Jiaolong, and the bloodline skills are more than a little bit worse. The 2 Jiaolongs are exactly the 200-level holy beasts, but they are only qualified to serve as guards for the Deep Sea God Turtle. Human ants, don't disturb my king's rest, leave quickly, otherwise I will kill you without mercy. One of the Jiaolongs spoke in human language and threatened and warned Yang Tian Long Lu. It spoke so loudly that it had already woken up the Deep Sea God Turtle. At this time, the Deep Sea God Turtle had opened its eyes, but its body did not move. It was still lying comfortably on the seabed, looking at Yang Tian Long Lu with interest. As for the black tortoise lying on Yang Tian's head, it was too small and was directly ignored by it. However, how dare you, a little dragon, talk to my boss like that? You are courting death, Suinwu roared, swooped down from Yang Tian's head, and instantly restored its original size. Its original size, although not as big as its mother, is already about the same as the Deep Sea God Turtle. Xian, Suinwu, the Deep Sea God Turtle shuddered and stood up suddenly. At this time, its eyes were wide open and its jaw had already been shattered. Damn it, Suinwu, one of the 4 sacred beasts, how did it come to me?